Hey YouTube, this is Ferry here with Anything TechSpot, and today we're going to be doing our review over the Dell Studio 15 with the Core i3 processor. Okay, so here's the Dell Studio, and as you can see, it has a very glossy screen, and I noticed that in the daylight it doesn't really work out that well with the glossy screen, because everybody knows that the sunlight reflects off of it, so it's hard to see what you're looking at if you're using it in the daylight. So we're going to start off this review with the boot up, so you can see the boot up time. And while you're doing that, I'm going to show you again what came with my product. So have to hold down the power button on the right side. You can see the keyboard light up. And while you're watching the boot up, it came with, I got Microsoft Office with mine. Then I got, well, you can't see that, I apologize. I got Microsoft Office with it. Home and Student 2007. Then I got the Creative Sound Blaster X5 drivers. Then I have some reinstallation drivers for drivers and utilities. Then I have a reinstallation disc for the operating system. Those are the CDs right here. Once again, operating system, utilities and drivers, the Sound Blaster driver, and Microsoft Office Home and Student. You see, it's only on the welcome part now, so you still have a little ways to go. Then you have the safety and environmental regulation manual and the setup guide. So that's all that came with it. And of course the power adapter and the power brick. And that's, and you hear that, so it's finally started up. And this is the power brick. Now you can see that the power brick is not as big as they usually have. It's actually shrunk in size as to what I'm used to. So I like the power brick, and everything's loaded up. Well, no, you still have to wait on the Dell dock, which I actually like compared to just the normal taskbar from Windows 7 and all that. So first we're going to talk about battery life. Using Dell's what they call the battery saver option, I got around 2 hours and 30 minutes before I had to before they prompt you to charge it again, and that's at about 10% battery life when I actually charge it again. So, and that's with the 6-cell battery. So I would, for the people who need to have more time away from the outlet, I would recommend picking up the 9-cell battery because you're not going to be able to stay away that long with the normal 6-cell battery. So next we're going to talk about, well, see, the sound quality, because when you get something with the name Studio on it, you expect to have at least decent sound quality. And what I've experienced with this is actually pretty good, way better than I expected, because you have the 2 speakers right here and the whole speaker grills here, and I think you have a subwoofer on the bottom, but I'm not completely sure about that. And what I think makes it better for mine is the Creative X5 Sound Blaster card that I told you about, which came pre-installed in mine, and the one that I ordered. So with the Creative X5 Sound Blaster, it's an internal sound card, and what it comes with, it comes with this enhanced audio controls. And I'm going to open that up so you can see it. And basically you can tweak all the settings. I'm going to open up the Creative Console Launcher. Basically you can tweak all the sound settings so that you can get it how you want it, because like standard is not all that great, I must say. But as you can see, let me come in a little bit on that. Let me turn the brightness down. Alright, as you can see, it brings up this little player with the volume knob here, and you have these right here. The first one is the bass booster, and as you go down you get equalizer and smart volume management, and I've found that very helpful to get it to sound better, because without this I don't think it would sound that great, because I mean it sounds decent without it, but it sounds a lot better using it. So, and I listen to a lot of music on here. I've listened to hip hop, R&B, a little on the rock and roll side, not too much. I mean, not rock and roll, pop, excuse me. And I think it sounds pretty good using this Creative X5 Sound Blaster. So that's it for the sound quality, which I think is pretty good. But of course, if you really want to hear some good music quality, I would recommend some external speakers. But if you're on the go, or if you're not, say you take the laptop somewhere, you will be able to hear it from a good distance. Like, I'm going to show you an example in this next clip. Okay, I came out here in my backyard to show you that from this spot here, way back to the fence, which is pretty far away, I could, with the volume turned all the way up on the speakers, I could hear it clearly. I mean, of course it's lower than it would be if you're close up, but I can still hear it pretty clear, and I think that's pretty good. Just an example. And now back to okay, so I hope that was a pretty good example of how loud the speakers can get. I mean, they sound pretty good in like a small size room. You can hear it, and they pretty much fill the room with enough sound that you won't necessarily need external speakers unless you really want the bass and all that. And I have to mention that the bass is there, but of course it's not overpowered. It's barely there. I gotta say, it's barely there, so you won't really have that overpowering bass that some people like, and you don't really have too much bass that you're satisfied with necessarily, depending on the person. So I would recommend external speakers if you really want. If you like, say you're going to use this for a desktop replacement and you're always going to have this at home, then I would really recommend some external speakers, because then you're going to be listening to music and it's not going anywhere. So if you're going to have it sitting in that same spot all the time, then I would recommend some external speakers. So next we're going to talk about the speed. No, first, before we go to speed, as I said about the battery, like I said, the 2 hours and 30 minutes, that was using Dell's battery saver. Now with Dell's battery saver, it only works when you have the battery, like when it's not plugged up. So, and basically what it does is it takes away some of the eye candy from Windows 7 that it uses. So I'm going to open up a couple things here so you can see what I mean. So by now, excuse me, by now you know that in Windows 7, when you hover over the taskbar at the bottom, it gives you a live preview of whatever's going on, whatever you're looking at. So when I unplug the power, you're going to see the screen flash, and basically what that means is it's going into Dell's battery saver mode. And at the bottom you see that before it was white, and now it changed to blue, which is the basic Windows 7 theme. And now you'll see that it doesn't show the live view anymore. It just shows like TweetDeck, and right here it says Google Chrome. And also it shuts off some of my widgets. Like before, well, I had WeatherBug up here, and usually WeatherBug is here, and like it doesn't work until you cut it on. I mean, you have to, well, until you plug it back up. So it cuts off some of the widgets to help save battery. But I don't really know how much that helps, seeing as you only get 2 hours and 30 minutes. So yeah, there it is. You see it's not really doing anything, but once I plug it in, it should change. You see the screen flash again. You see how that changed back to white because it's no longer using Dell's battery life. Extended battery life is what they call it. Alright, so next we're going to go on to speed, using examples such as YouTube, like HD video quality and all that. So my experience over Wi-Fi was that it didn't really, for me, or my Wi-Fi connection, which I think is to blame. Oh, it's not really connected right now, so we're going to pause this video for a second. I'm going to fix my Wi-Fi, and then we're going to be back. Okay, so we're back, and the internet's up now. Alright, excuse the tripod movement here. Alright, so for example, and excuse my sniffing, I just went outside with that other clip, and the pollen's kind of getting to me at the moment. So we're going to open up a video from Obey Brandon here, Energizer Power Reporter. Alright, it's not an HD video. Well, we're going to show how a normal 360p works on here first, because sometimes even that lags over Wi-Fi. So I'm going to test this over Ethernet quickly after this and see what the difference is, and see if it's just the processor itself. Alright, we're going to mute that, and yeah, you see it's already skipping a little bit, skipping around. So